are going to learn about the imprinting. So the imprinting is nothing but the phase sensitive learning. Every animal, they just learn the things from their parents. So any type of the particular situation or the particular object when we observe or observed by the animals, such all these object or the situation is imprinted inside of their brain, and they give the response to that particular situation or the object on the basis of their learning process. So inside of this imprinting, this is nothing but the learning that occurs at the particular age or the life stage. During this process, the animal learn the characteristics of some stimulus, or thereof said the imprinted on the subject. Okay, so imprinting is nothing but the critical or the sensitive period of the life. Here is the one example or the type of the imprinting is nothing but the filial imprinting. Filial imprinting is the imprinting which actually at the stage of the when the animal it is hatched out or have a it is birth. Okay, during the birth or the after the birth, such type of the some situation or the some objective or some animals, when it look toward this situation or the animals or the object, then all these pictures it just imprinted in its brain. So the young animals learn this character of its parents when they just hatched out. Suppose taken the example of any birds, when the these young ones hatched out from the eggs, then they just first see their parent face, and the and they know that the each and every characteristic of their parent, and know that the animal which is in front of them, it is nothing but their parent. So the young animals learn the characteristic of their parent. So how they learn? By visualization. In some cases of the animal, their eyes still not open after the 2 days or 3 days or the 5 days. They visualize the things those are in front of them. So within this period, they know their parent by the auditoring or auditory memory. It is known as auditory memory. Or next one is the olfactory stimuli. Olfactory stimuli is nothing but the smell. So there are the three categories when you just see in this filial imprinting. First is nothing but the visual, second is nothing but the auditory, and third one is nothing but the smelling or the olfactory stimuli or the sensation. So the visualized stimuli is nothing but the catch the attention of the young birds. Okay, auditory is nothing but the young ones follow the sound of their parent or their mother, and the olfactory is nothing but the when they smell, when they get the smell of their parents or that particular animal, then they just follow. Just taken the example of the tree, they are totally blind for the few weeks, so they just know their mother or the parents by the smell. Okay, so this is the filial imprinting. Then the next one is the sexual imprinting. So when you just see in the animal words, species is the most important. When you just take an the example of particular animals, then we know that there is nothing but the sexual dimorphism, means male and the females are present within this species, and they can reproduce. Okay, so this sexual imprinting is also the most important to choose the partner during this reproductive maturation period. So in which it is the later stage of the development. Okay, so this is the process by which a young one or the young animals learn the characteristics of a desirable mate. Means the male know the female know the male the characteristics of same same structure or the their species only. So the most general system of the sexual imprinting allow a young to learn to recognize the potential mate, okay, without in breeding. So next is nothing but the female learn to recognize what type of the appropriate mate should look from their sibling or the neighbors. Means within that their siblings or a neighbor, uh, the same type of the same characteristics of the animals are there. So they know that these are nothing but our species, and the male and the female get the mate from within that species. For example, male zebra finches appear to prefer the mates which the appearance of the female birds that rear them, or rather than the mates of their own types. So this is the most important imprinting in animal world, or every animal words you can observe the sexual imprinting. They can choose their partner of within their species only. They could not separated from their species also. Okay, so this is sexual imprinting. Let's see the biological significance of this imprinting. First is nothing but the imprinting is help in partner offspring bond formation early in the life and choose of the sexual partner in their life. So it enable to organism to recognize the member of their own community or the species and avoid the inbreeding. Means inbreeding means the other species could not breed with the other species, or they have not choose the sexually very different animal. So this is the biological significance of the imprinting. Then we just move on the classical condition. This is the very important topic of our ethology, because the scientists they just know the behavior of the animals, or so for that purpose they just create some particular situation, the lab situation, and they observe within that situation how these animals change their behavior and how they overcome from this critical situation. So here is the classical conditioning. So here is the behavior. It may be the change or it is associated with the learning. So the response from the here the modified by the past experience is called the conditioning reflex. So in the life journey of any type of the animals, when a similar type of the situation arises, then they tackle or they learn how to respond to these conditions. It is the nothing but the conditional. It is nothing but the conditional reflex. So in 1902, the Russian physiologist, it is very famous example, Ivan Paulo, it start a very famous experiment on of this conditioning. So it just created the cage, and inside of cage here is the he put one dog, and the food he offered to the dog. But here is the one condition: he just create a very classical conditioning. Means he just uh, rang the bell, and then the food come inside of the cage of the dog. And such type of the behavior of the dog, when he just observe that when the bell is rang, then the saliva of this dog is start releasing, and then he collect this saliva with the tube, and then he just start this conditioning very critically, or condition he improved the condition. Then he just rang the bell, and the food is not coming inside of the cage, uh, but still the dog release the saliva because he know that when the bell is rang, then the food is automatically come inside of its cage. So dog only recognize that when the bell rang, then the food comes. So the saliva of its mouth it just releasing. But after few attempt, he know that this only bell is rang. There is no food is coming inside of its cage. So he stop automatically. Its saliva is not going to release, and its the volume it is also decreased. Okay, but again he repeat the same experiment, and the bell rang and food material came. So similar type of the situation when come, then again its saliva is released. So in this experiment, this Paolo is know that the dog has realized that when the particular type of the sound is coming inside of its cage, then the food material is it just offered by the scientist. So the automatically the dog learn this critical situation, and when this situation against with this dog, then the same dog will know that it is a false signal, and it stopped releasing the saliva. So this is very classical conditioning, and this Paulo created this classical conditioning in 1902. So this is the picture, and inside of is the picture. You just know that you just see in this first before the conditioning, when the this dog is just see the food material, then automatically saliva is released, and then he Paulo scientists just add the one more thing is here, and the bell is rang, then this dog could not respond to this bell, because he know that the food material is not coming inside of this. This is a very classical conditioning of experiment done by the Ivan Paulo. Thank you.